Right, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another Value Bomb Wednesday training. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the top frequently asked questions, part one, just because I know there's going to be more questions that come along. And I just wanted to make this video so for anyone who is thinking about 0% funding, they could just immediately get those questions answered right out of the way. I do post a lot of free trainings on kind of more in-depth actionable items on some of the things I'm going to be talking about today. But for the most part, this is going to be just kind of more of like a high-level overview to answer the common things most people have when it comes to, considering 0% funding. So if you guys are new here, my name is Miggle, and I've been doing the 0% funding game for over 5 years. I've helped raise over $4 million in 0% funding for clients and other partners I've worked with. So my whole goal here is I started out in business. I didn't have money to do it, and I knew when I could start that business, it would pay off. And that's how I got into learning and studying and spending tens of thousands of dollars from other coaches to be able to learn how to do this. And I'm here to be able to share some free sauce with you guys so that you guys could start your funding journey. And whether you're just starting out the business or you already have a business and you're trying to scale it, and you're seeing that lack of capital is holding you guys back, I'm here to help you guys move in that direction. So let's talk about 0% funding, business credit, because if you're not using it, you're leaving money on the table. I know there are a lot of questions when it comes to leveraging 0% business credit the right way. So today I'm going to break down those top frequently asked questions I get all the time and give you the real answers that banks don't want you guys to know. So make sure you guys stick around until the end, because I'm going to be sharing exactly how you can extend 0% interest terms for multiple years so you're never stressed about hitting your ROI on time. And if you guys want a custom strategy on how to set yourself up for maximum approvals, my team will do a free head-to-toe credit analysis on all three bureaus, analyze it, and give you guys a free optimization report that walks you guys through exactly what you need to do in order to be able to move forward to get business credit funding. I'll hook you guys all that up absolutely free. Just make sure you guys drop the word optimize down below and we'll hook you guys up. So let's get right into it. FAQ number one is, will maxing out my credit cards affect my personal credit? So will maxing out my business credit cards affect my personal credit? I want to be very clear here. So short answer is no. The long answer is business credit utilization does not affect or report to your personal credit score. And here's why, is because with 0% business credit, this is always better than 0% personal credit, because 0% business credit, again, it doesn't report utilization. However, if you're maxing out 0% personal credit, it will affect your utilization and it will tank your credit score and hold you guys back from being able to apply for more funding if you guys need it. The other thing too is business credit cards typically come with much higher limits, allowing you to access more capital. Now, as a follow-up question to this, a lot of people might be asking, why are banks giving out 0% funding, right? And the reason why is because they know business owners aren't maxing out credit cards to buy shoes or a new purse or whatever. These aren't liabilities they're buying. They're assuming you're using it for business expenses that are going to investments and assets that are going to generate an ROI. So they feel a lot safer giving you higher limits on the business side versus personal side. And reason number two is business credit usually gives you those larger limits and more flexibility than the personal credit, just purely because it doesn't affect your utilization. Because if you max out one credit card on the business side, that's not going to stop you from being able to apply from another bank and getting more 0% funding from them. But it will do that if you max out 0% personal credit with one bank, because again, that's going to tank your score and no one is going to want to touch you and give you more funding on more 0% personal credit funding if they already see something that's maxed out. Now, FAQ number two is, how do you turn credit into cold hard cash? So most people would do, they think they have to do what's called a cash advance, but this is a trap. Normally, banks, they'll charge anywhere between 25 to 30% interest on those cash advances. And honestly, fuck that, because you imagine getting 100K, but you have to pay 25 to 30K of that just to pull out the cash, and you haven't even made any money yet. So you're already 25 to 30K in the hole. And if your profit margin is, say, 50%, you already gave up either half or more than half of that, and you only get to keep 25% of that. So do not go the cash advance route. It's a trap. There are other creative ways to liquidate the credit cards for much lower fees. And right now, I can't really say exactly how to do it, but if you want to know the method, comment the word liquid down below, and I'll send you guys the hacks privately and directly to you guys. Now, quick note here is whenever you guys use a credit card, banks typically charge a 3% fee that's already built into the transactions. And if you go through a third-party provider to help pull the cash from the cards, then they charge usually an additional 2 to 3% on top of that, the 3% fee that the banks charge with every transaction. Some of you guys might not know that that's a thing. If you didn't know that banks charge that 3% on any transaction, it's because it's usually paid for by the service provider. So you could go to 7-Eleven, buy a stick of gum. The banks are going to charge 3% on top of that because you're using a credit card. And that's why when you go into some stores, they'll charge more for using a credit card versus using cash or a debit card to make up for that difference. So all in, if you guys are going to go a creative way of liquidating the cards, is it's going to be anywhere between 5 to 6% total. That's including the bank's 3% fee and then the third-party providers 2 to 3% fee. So that's just, I want you guys to have those numbers in mind so you know what you're getting into. But let's be real, that's literally only a fifth of what the banks would be charging you guys for a cash advance. So way better deal. And on top of that, if your business isn't being able to produce 5 to 6, 10, 20% return, then it might not be the best business, especially if you can't even make 5 to 6 or 10% for it to make sense from a financial perspective. But FAQ number 3 is, why do banks give 0% funding? What is it? What's in it for them? So I know a lot of people, when they hear 0% funding, they're like, oh, this is BS. Like, that doesn't make sense. Banks make money off of charging interest. Why would they want to do that for us, right? A lot of people don't have a lot of trust in the banks either. So I totally get it. But the reason why is banks offer 0% promotional interest, keyword promotional, to get new customers through the door. So when I say promotional, this isn't going to be forever, right? They're banking, so no pun intended, but they're banking on two things when they're giving 0% funding. Is they're banking on you loving using the card and working with them, that you're going to keep it long term. So even after the 0% terms for 12 to 18 months end, they expect you to continue using that. And number 2 is, even if you aren't able to pay it off in time, that's when the interest starts kicking. So they start making money on interest once the 0% ends. So for them, it's a win-win. Either you stay as a long-term customer, or if you can't pay it off, then they get to start paying interest. But that is a great segue into our next question, right? Usually people want to know, right? It's not 0% forever, right? So how long is the 0% for? Depending on the bank and the cards, it's a lot different, but usually they're 12 to 18 months. So with that being said, that's why you guys need to have a plan to pay it back. So if you're investing in your business and confident you could get that ROI to pay back the cards and make a profit, then basically the banks just bought you that free asset. However, if you guys need more time, let's say 12 to 18 months isn't enough time to get the ROI on the business and the investment you made, here's the real game changer, is you could extend these 0% terms for multiple years. And the next thing is, how? Basically, you're going to do what's called a 0% balance transfer. You could open up another 0% card with a different bank. Let's say you had 50K with this bank, open up another 50K with the second bank, balance transfer, boom. Now you just buy yourself an extra 12 to 18 months. And surely by then, hopefully you're getting that ROI. But the key thing here is, technically you could do this for multiple years, and that's how we're able to access 0% for 2, 3, 4, multiple years to be able to get that ROI. And it makes it so much safer for the investor. Because what I always tell people is, if you need more time to hit the ROI, do the balance transfer and reset the clock, right? Giving you multiple years of 0% interest funding without paying interest throughout any of those years. This is going to eliminate the pressure for you guys to make money fast and, maybe make the mistakes since you're such in a high pressure state if you were in that frame, and it reduces risks and gives you more breathing room to scale. Because what I tell people is the more time you have access to 0% funding, the more time you have to pay back the banks and get that ROI. So it's a lot safer than versus just using your savings where you just max it out. And if you go through all your savings, you're just kind of shit out of luck and you just have to quit. Or if you're going through a high interest loan where, you're charging 15, 25%, you're not getting eaten alive by those interest rates, So that's how long 0% funding goes for. It's usually 12 to 18 months, but because you guys are part of the dopest community, Family Legacy Funding with Miggle, you guys now know that you can extend it for multiple years and give yourselves that breathing room. Now, if you guys are liking this so far, make sure to drop a thumbs up in the chat. It helps me know that I'm able to continue providing awesome value for you guys. But we're on to the fifth and final frequently asked question is, can I get approved with an 800 plus credit score? Short answer is yes. Long answer is no. And let me explain to you guys why. So having an optimized credit score and profile only gets your foot in the door. That's just half of the equation, but it does not guarantee approvals for high limits. So what I want to do is let me tell you guys about a client that I'd worked with in the past. So this guy, they had an 845 credit score, literally damn near perfect credit score, 5 points away. This is the highest credit score I've actually ever seen anybody have, right, in my life. And, this person was like, okay, cool, this can't really get any better than that. And this person tried to go out and apply for funding. And guess what happened, right? It's not what you guys probably think, but when they try to go out and applying on their own because they didn't know what the bank underwriting requirements were, all this other stuff, they only got approved for 5K and that's it, right? And after doing that, after they spent, months watching TikToks and watching like these YouTube videos and still not getting what they wanted, that's why they reached out to us, is because they're like, okay, obviously these people know something that we don't. And here's what a lot of you guys don't know, and this is what we help you guys with our paid clients, is the reason why he wasn't able to get approved was he didn't know the bank underwriting requirements, right? You might know the credit score and the credit profile, what it needs to look like, but each bank plays by a different set of rules. And our job is to study that, know that through trial and error and years of experience and success. And our whole job is to check off each of those bank underwriting requirements off the list. And then from there, you also need to know how to talk to the banks, right? A lot of people actually don't even get the opportunity to talk to the bankers because they're just applying online. And, when you're talking to these bankers, you want to be putting yourself in the best light possible and showing that your business has a lot of potential and can grow and isn't a high risk business. And that's how we communicate to our banks. We give our paid clients those scripts on how to best properly portray themselves. And the other thing with this too is a lot of people don't even actually get the opportunity to talk to the banks because they're just filling out an application online. And the problem with that is if you're just applying online, your application goes through a computer algorithm. The banks don't know who you are. They don't really know what you're about, what your goals are. And what ends up happening is people just get denied or get these low limits because you don't get an opportunity to make a case for yourself. And the other way that we do things is we leverage bank relationships. So we work with senior level VP relationship managers at these banks. We connect you with them. You get to keep those connections. They're yours to keep. And we let you guys know how you want to be able to portray them. And when you talk to them, they're almost acting as that middleman liaison between you and the underwriting team. And they're going to help paint you in the best light possible. And the reason why they do that is because these relationship managers, they get paid a commission from the banks based off of how much you get approved for. So it's in their best interest to help you get the maximum funding. However, the only way to work with them is you need to know what their underwriting requirements are beforehand to be able to pre-qualify, and you need to have somebody like us connect you directly to them. So that's where we come in. And then lastly is just knowing how to fill out the applications correctly. But these are all the things that we know. A lot of people, might know what the credit score and profile needs to look like, but they're missing these 4 key things. And this is why you guys need more than just a good credit score. You can't just rely on that. You need a strategy. And on top of that, even when things don't go according to plan, you need to know the different secret sauce ways of being able to troubleshoot and turn, let's say you only got approved for 25K and you needed 50K. There are ways of being able to troubleshoot that and get that 50K if you need it. Let's say you get denied for whatever reason. Let's say there was something that was on your credit that wasn't known before. Then there are special processes and systems in place where we could turn a no into a yes through the reconsideration process. But to recap that, basically, yes, you can get approved with an 800 credit score. Is it going to be what you want? Probably not. In the example for the client that I did work with, 845 credit score and still only got 5K, right? You still need to have that strategy. You want to work with somebody who has had years of experience and success in getting their clients the funding they need to start and scale their business. So final recap for you guys and takeaways I want you guys to have is, here's what you guys need to know about 0% funding is business credit utilization won't tank your personal credit score, but personal utilization will. That's why we always want to use business credit for business expenses, because even if we max that out, we could still go out and apply for more funding and it won't hold us back. If you max out personal credit, then you're shit out of luck. No one's going to want to give you any more funding. The other thing is there are creative ways to pull cash from the credit cards without paying the insane cash advance fees. Again, comment the word liquid down below for those hacks and we'll send it to you guys. Banks offer 0% to bring in new customers, and they're also banking on you keeping them long-term or paying the interest rates if the 0% terms expire. But again, you can extend those 0% terms for multiple years in order to limit your guys' risk. And then lastly, even with an 800 credit score, you still need a strategy to maximize approvals and get those high limits. So if you guys are ready to get funded, comment the word funding down below and let's get you guys set up the right way. Again, me and my team will do a deep dive 3 bureau credit analysis to see if you're pre-qualified. If you're not, we'll build out a free optimization report to help guide you on where you need to go next. And again, if you need that custom credit plan, like let's say you're not qualified yet, then comment the word optimize and we'll just get started on that right away. But if you guys are ready to stop playing small and start leveraging 0% funding like the pros, let's get started. Comment any questions you guys have down below and I'll be more than happy to help. Thank you guys again for always, lending me your eyes, ears, and attention. And I hope to see you guys soon. But as usual, peace out, much love, stay beautiful, and we will see you guys in the next one. Peace.